Wake up, America. BlackRock and MicroStrategies about to skyrocket Bitcoin. In today's video, I'm going to break down how Jerome Powell dropped interest rates yesterday. We knew that was coming. And he also said, we can't hold Bitcoin. And so there's a visceral response happening around that. Well, maybe you should. Since 1913, when the Federal Reserve was created, the US dollar's value has collapsed about 97%. Your dollar has 3% purchasing power. So think about that for just a moment. You get paid in the US dollar that has about 3% purchasing power. Now it's still the most powerful currency in the world. We are still the most powerful country in the world. But there's a transmutation of money. That's why BlackRock, that's why America, that's why Grayscale, that's why MicroStrategies and whoever Satoshi is are the top holders in Bitcoin. So, Jerome Powell, maybe you guys should be able to hold Bitcoin because what you guys have created has collapsed our dollar value by 97%, and Americans can barely afford to live. So that's why this is happening. Again, what I always share is it's not what should you invest in, it's why should you invest in something. So we're first going to watch that video, and I'm going to share with you how Michael Saylor is literally changing the game. Okay. Now, there's a lot of people out there saying Bitcoin's going to zero, blah, blah, blah. It's either going to be the biggest collapse in human history, which is going to take out the ecosystem, or it's going to be one of the greatest investments that a human could ever make. And I think it's the latter. There's just too much logic to say that Bitcoin's going to zero. There's too much logic around the Bitcoin strategic reserve. There's too much logic around the largest asset manager in the world going all in on Bitcoin and MicroStrategies going all in on Bitcoin, which I'll explain on the back in this video, some of his strategy. And I'll share with you exactly what I'm doing. And again, everything I share with you is exactly what I'm doing. Nothing different. Okay. Very, very important. I also want to put this, I'm gonna start putting this on the front end of the video every once in a while. I will never, ever, ever proactively DM you. I will never ask about your crypto. I do not trade people's crypto. We do not have a crypto platform or a trading platform. Those are all scammers. Okay, there's thousands of people using my likeness and image to scam people. QFS accounts are a scam. Never send anybody your crypto, ever, ever. Unless you know them personally. I just want to put that warning out there. My average age group is 35 to 70. And a lot of us are, even me, when I got into all of this, I was new to technology. I mean, I had to learn all this stuff. So remember, if it's too good to be true, it is. Be very, very careful. We don't invest people's money. We don't take people's money and invest it. So it's not us. So be very careful. So we're going to watch this first video right here, which is Jerome Powell. They lowered interest rates yesterday. It was underwhelming. The markets, responded. There was a market drop. The market drops are absolutely beautiful. Like, it's such a blessing, especially for the things that I'm investing in crypto. Like, I love it. I would like it to collapse even more. I want more buying opportunity. So remember, stay calm, stay stoic. So watch this first, and then I'll go into the BlackRock and MicroStrategies, and then I'll share with you what I think is happening.
Assets that have been buoyant. Do you see any value or benefit in the U.S. government building a reserve of Bitcoin?
We're not allowed to own Bitcoin. The Federal Reserve Act says what we can own, and we're not looking for a law change. That's the kind of thing for Congress to consider, but we are not looking for a law change.
Okay, so they're not looking for a law change right now. That's something Congress would have to deal with. We got Trump coming in January 20th, 2024, the inauguration. Cynthia Lummis' bill, is with Congress. So what do you think is going to happen? I think they're going to approve it. Texas is already going through the approval process to create their Bitcoin strategic reserve. They see what happens with El Salvador. But think about this. 1913, when the Federal Reserve occurred, we're over 100 years, guys. It's time for change. This is just a transmutation of money. That's it. Don't get caught in this wave of emotion. It's just a change of money. So when you ask yourself logically, where is money changing to? Digitization, tokenization. That's all we're doing. We're making bets on massive speculation, and that's where the wealth comes in, because the more speculative is and the less regulation we have, more regulation comes in, the less volatility. So that's where the large amount of money in a short amount of time comes. But you got to have a game plan inside and outside of crypto. So new BlackRock's gold ETF took 20 years. This is crazy. Like, just soak this in. BlackRock's gold ETF took 20 years to reach 33 billion AUM. Okay. It took their Bitcoin ETF less than a year. Okay. I'm telling you, the age of Aquarius, money is now quantum. Some of you are going to be multimillionaires. Some of you are going to be billionaires. Money, it doesn't even make sense anymore. Okay. It doesn't make sense. And that's one thing that rationally that, I want to speak to you guys for just a moment. Let me bring you higher on my screen here before I go next thing is that's what I noticed from 2020 to 2022 coming from the banking sector is I was like, this isn't natural. I made more money from 2020 to 2022. I mean, we turned 10 into 30, 30 into six figures. And it was just like, what the hell is going on? And we pulled profits and we diversified and we created cash generating businesses and we learned the wealth game. That's the key. That's what I want you to understand at a very deep level. During this bull run, you have to learn the game. And it's inside and outside of crypto, because if you do it right, if you do this correctly, your family will never have to work for money again. So just let me read that one more time. So it took gold 20 years to reach 33 billion. Okay. It took their ETF, Bitcoin ETF, less than a year. Quantum. Okay. So we're going to watch this right here. So this was, they ask, I think this is the one right here. Oh no, we're just going to watch a short clip around MicroStrategy. He's all over the news right now.
Yes, it's MicroStrategy co-founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor. Well, you're the guest of the moment. So is there a limit to how much Bitcoin you're going to acquire?
The reason I want you to hear this is going to go into my narrative on the back end.
No, I've said we'll just keep buying the top forever. Every day is a good day to buy Bitcoin. We look at it as cyber Manhattan. I would have bought Manhattan 100 years ago, 200 years ago, every year for the past 300 years. You pay a little bit more than the person that bought Manhattan before you, but it's always a good investment to invest in the economic capital of the free world.
Do you think that Trump is serious about creating this Bitcoin reserve, and how would that work?
I think he is. And, if you think about the Louisiana Purchase, California and Alaska, we paid $40 million to buy 75% of the United States. Nobody remembers the $40 million. But if you know where the money's going, you should buy the property, buy the future. And in this case, the Lummis plan calls for 1 million Bitcoin acquisition. That's worth $16 trillion to the country. RFK proposed 4 million Bitcoin that would be worth about $56 trillion. There's room for Trump to go beyond that, even $81 trillion in gains.
Jesus. I hope this is sinking in, guys. I mean, genuinely, from my heart to yours, like, you have to let this sink in. Okay. You got to pull yourself to a 30,000 foot overview. You got to get out of the get rich quick mentality. Okay. We have to understand the systematic switch that's happening right now. Bitcoin's not going to zero, guys. Again, if it does, it is like, why would Trump be talking about pulling it under the treasury? Why? It's one of the solves that can solve the sovereign debt crisis. One of two things. Either they created it or you can't beat it, join it. And I don't know which one it is. Who knows? Right? Either they created it because they could see what was happening. The dollar had already collapsed probably 93% back when they created it. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but the dollar's been deflating over and over. It's just logic. It works until it doesn't. It doesn't work anymore. Jerome Powell, the gentleman who just said they can't hold Bitcoin, told us that the economy is unsustainable on this path. 34 trillion in debt, I think we have. We collect less in taxes than we do on the interest on our debt. We're going to go into a massive golden era. Okay, so I want you to listen to this part right here. This is pretty cool.
You've been relatively less vocal than some of your peers in the crypto community about your political views. And I have to ask, have you met with President-elect Donald Trump?
I've met with a lot of people in the incoming administration, but I couldn't comment further than that.
Okay, can't comment further than that. I was going to ask you about plans, but instead I'll ask you about whether or not you would be willing to serve in the Trump administration in any capacity. Bloomberg has reported that there potentially could be a crypto advisory council. Is that something that you might be interested in?
I'm always willing to provide, thoughts on constructive digital assets policy, either in confidence or publicly. And if I'm asked to serve on some sort of digital assets advisory council, I'm probably would do so. Yes.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? All right. Let's talk. Let's talk, okay? So let's get really, really fundamental around this, okay? That's what I want to be known as I spread this information that I am doing myself is if I wanted somebody to speak about my truth and what I'm speaking, it's fundamental, okay? When I first got into this industry, and I'm speaking to, I'm 49 years old. I'm going to be 49 in March next year, right? My clientele is 35 to 70 years old. And so I know a lot of baby boomers watch this as well. And I know a lot of people are having trouble really digesting what's happening. So the first thing, money is just changing, right? We had a bartering system. Now we're going to have a crypto. It's changing form. So that's the first thing we need to look at. It's nothing too dramatic. It's just a change of money. Now it feels very dramatic because we're literally in the era of a massive change. Warren Buffett said it very, very, very well. He said, I had it easy. I'm paraphrasing. He was born, I think, after the Great Depression. Was it? Don't quote me on that. I think, or right after the Great Depression. And he lived in think about it, since 1971, a lower, I mean, there's higher rates, but low interest rate money, printing of money. I mean, money was just free almost most of his living lifetime in his investment. For us, we caught the ball. We caught high inflation, high interest rates, a country that is buried in debt that can't even pay for its interest. We have to borrow from foreign countries to pay for our critical services. So that's where we're at. And that's why BlackRock, that's why JP Morgan has its own blockchain. That's why JP Morgan has exposure through BlackRock's ETF. That's why Bank of America has exposure through the ETF. That's why BlackRock, Larry Fink, went from cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin is used for money laundering, to saying, I made a mistake. It's a flight to quality like gold. BlackRock is now the #2 holder in the world in Bitcoin besides Satoshi. So logically, if you are the largest holder in Bitcoin and you are the largest asset manager in the world, bigger than most countries' GDPs, do you think he has some insight on who Satoshi is? Maybe, or logically knows that this is part of the new system? Or do you think they're all just throwing a Hail Mary out there? They're like, screw it. We're just throwing a Hail Mary. No, it doesn't. That's not how it works, right? They either created it to fix this problem and we're all being played, or you can't beat it, join it. One of the two. And I don't know if we'll ever find out. But what we can do is we can speculate and make good, sound decisions and look at the landscape. Really, when the dust settles, it's going to be Bitcoin, XRP, #2. I don't know if the XRP #2, #1, Bitcoin, #2. And I'm saying XRP is my favorite. I'm just being transparent. XRP is my favorite. And Ethereum #3. Those will be the top 3. And then everybody else will be surviving regulation. I'm not saying the other ones won't be here, but there's 32,000 cryptos. Most of them are going to get wiped out with regulation. So in our family, in our ecosystem, we don't play games. We don't chase meme coins. We don't chase markets. We let the markets come to us because we understand the waves of energy. We're in the age of Aquarius. There's a massive shift of energy. Okay. So as I go further over the next 6 years, I'm going to mature my portfolio into only fundamental cryptos because of the ecosystem we built outside as well. So your #1 thing is to learn why you're investing in something. Okay. Crypto is an extremely speculative asset in its speculative phase. So when it's in its speculative phase, you get a lot of price appreciation, but we're in what's called a bull run. If you can't stomach volatility, do not go into these markets. Some of you are going to buy the top, but what did Michael Saylor just say? He's like, it's a good buy no matter what price it's at, right? If you're a long-term holder, he's not chasing meme coins. He's not thinking about short term. He's thinking long term. So what he's doing is he's borrowing against the equity, buying more, borrowing, buying more. That's how they built real estate empires. It's the same concept. Bitcoin is a real estate property with no investor, with no plumbing problems. That gets 50% appreciation every single year. You can borrow against the asset to buy more Bitcoin, to buy more assets. Okay. So my strategy is we're holding 100% of our Bitcoin, and I'm working to accumulate as much as I can. XRP is, so my top two holdings are Bitcoin and XRP. Okay. For XRP, again, this is just what I do exactly. For XRP, I'm all my altcoins, everything outside of Bitcoin and XRP, I'm going to be outside of Bitcoin. I'm going to be exiting 50% in the bull run. Well, why would I do that? Because the large amount of price appreciation I'm going to get from these altcoins, I have stuff set up outside so that I'm diversified. So my number one thing I do with my profits as I exit on the way up, as everybody's trying to catch the top, because you're not going to catch the top, I pull it down the risk pyramid. I use tier one capital. I use insurance. It's been around since the Roman days. I have a shitload of insurance on my family to protect them if something happens to me, and I insure my money. I use cash value life insurance. Okay, I stuff those buckets first. Once those buckets are stuffed, so that's going to be within probably Q1 2025. Once those buckets are stuffed, that there's cash flow left over, we want to use that cash flow to either buy back in or create more cash generating assets. I'm currently looking at a ETF strategy that has dividends. It's pretty innovative. So I'm going to be looking at dividend strategies. Anything I put my money into needs to pay me money. Okay. During the last bull run into this thing, we created cash generating businesses in information, technology, attention, and education. We didn't buy Lambos, Ferraris, and big houses. We took the cash flow, okay, and we put it back into the ecosystem during the bear market. Now we're seeing the massive fruits from accumulation, and then we're diversifying, okay? So by the time all the dust settles in 2030, I'll have a robust crypto portfolio, mostly comprising probably of Bitcoin and XRP. That'll probably be my biggest holdings. I'm giving you guys a whole game. This is what I'm doing. Bitcoin and XRP. I will have, God willing, a good, nice, robust real estate portfolio for tax liabilities. That's all I care about with the tax liabilities. I'm not worried about the doors, right? That'll give me some price appreciation as well in the future. I'll have cash generating businesses that will scale, and hopefully at some point in 10 years, I can sell those, right? In 10 years, my goal is to never need to work for money again and just do travel. I'm already doing what I love, but I have to trade time for money, right? It's earned income. So my earned income, I'm putting it into the system so I can use money to never have to have earned income. It's going to be passive, making money 24 hours a day, right? So my insurance is my security, and that's attached to our Rockefeller waterfall system. Call it the Dynasty Trust. My kids get 50% goes in the dynasty, and then I get to pass down financial literacy to my family. Okay. And so right now, today is December, what's the date today? December 19th, 2024. It's capitulating, it's going down. I hope it drops more. I'm like, please, please, please. And then we're going to go through, we might see some sideways action through the back end of December. And I believe after the inauguration, you're going to see this shit go straight up. January, back into January 20th, February, March, April. Remember, sell in May, go away. I'll be working to exit as much as I can, 50% up until May, because it's selling. That's just natural. Sell in May, go away. Our business's income go down. Investment income goes down. The summer goes down. And then the back end of 2025, we may see another pop back up, right? And then we go into the bear market. And that's when you get wealthy, the bear market. So your number one thing is to get disciplined. Get rid of debts and get down to debts and non-negotiables. You don't need 2 cars. You don't need fancy shit. You don't need a bigger house. If you're about to buy a new car, sorry, car salesman, do not buy a new car. If you got a hoopty and it runs, fix it. Do not get a car payment. If you got a big ass car payment, you can get out of it, flip it, get out of it, drive a fucking hoopty. Nobody cares what you drive. Nobody cares. Every time I buy a nice car, and I only buy cars through my business, you always buy the super nice car, and then it's a expense trap, right? Even if it's through a business, it's like, God damn, you go get the tires done. It's like $1,000 for tires, per tire. It's like, what the hell? It's just, cars are junk, man. It's junk. So all the cars that I drive are through my business. I'm just ranting here. Cars I drive through my business. I don't have any personal cars. I have basically debts and non-negotiables. That's it. Everything runs, most of my expenses run through my C Corp. So yeah, this is what we got to do. This is it. You got this. Get your shit together. We got this, man. Take a deep breath. God is good. Christ is king. This is what we came for. Okay. But you gotta get out of this hypey stuff. Okay. So big warning once again, then I'll share with you the resources I have for you because I want to help you. Number one, I have free resources on this channel. So if you're kind of just getting started, you're like, I need help, JB, there's a free education area. We're going to be adding a lot of videos in there. It's all free education. I just share with you exactly what I do. Okay. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, consult your tax accountant. I'm just being like, here's what I do. Go figure it out. Okay. Then we have, I have a insurance team. I have licensed insurance agents in all 50 states and Canada. Okay. I get hundreds of messages on how I use cash value life insurance. Okay. What I do may not work for you. Okay. Very, very important. Everybody's tax needs are different. Everybody's retirement is different. So what I created for you is called the needs assessment. Okay. You fill it out as detailed as possible. My team will call you based on your state. They'll text you, call you, email you, and they're going to talk to you about retirement strategies. They can talk to you about, insuring your family, insuring your money, looking at annuities, cash, tax-free retirement, cash generating assets on the back end of your life. We can help you with that stuff. Okay. That's a free consultation. You'll never send my team member money directly. Never. We don't get paid by the client. And number two, if you're like, hey, listen, I want to dive in. I want to, be on live calls with you, all these different things. I have my academy. I've helped 9,000 people worldwide. We siloed all the information into our academy, education, Q&A calls, market calls, community, and my revolutionary 120-day challenge to help you get your shit together. Put your blinders on. That's where my stoicism comes from. I'm non-emotional. I stay out of other men's business. I focus on God, family, and protecting my ecosystem at all cost. All else is irrelevant. All else is irrelevant. It's because of my 120-day challenge. I practice it every single day. The most important thing right now is getting your shit together. That's the key. You're the foundation for your family. You're the generational shifter. Okay, that's in the description of this video. Or if you go to my social media platform, click the link. You'll see those there. Everything else is a scam, guys. We don't invest people's money. We don't have a trading platform. I'll never ask about your crypto. QFS accounts are a scam as well. I don't care if this messes up my videos. I'm going to say it on every video. You don't need a QFS account. Don't transfer anybody your crypto. Keep it safe. We love you guys. Warriors. Let's get your shit together. Love you.